Alright everybody, we got a little reader review going on. It's October 22nd. It's got to be like 60 degrees out here. Found one last patch of sun. Sitting outside in shorts at the end of October. It's not too bad. What I have is a fella named John from Oregon. Looks like it came from Corvallis. Sent me 4 drinks, and I say drinks because one is a cider, and then 3 beers. So I'm trying the cider now. This is interesting because he just bought 5 gallons of local organic cider with nothing added, which is, you know, an interesting way to make cider. I mean, not everybody can get fresh pasteurized cider from an apple orchard, but you can still make cider. It's a little darker than the ones that I make from the fresh pressed juice. Oh, I got the Bob Dylan Royal Albert Hall going. This is set 1 where it's all acoustic. Set 2, of course, is the controversial time when he got the band as his backing band, and he came out and started rocking, and people were booing him, and because they didn't like it. It's awesome. You guys should check it out. So here we go. 9% alcohol. He added 4 pounds of sugar for original gravity of 1070, and it got down to about 1.000. So here we go. It's similar to the ciders I make when they get to the dry point, when they get down to 1.000. I have had a couple of my most recent ones have gone below 0, 0.996. It has that similar tartness. Now, what I do is in the keg, I back sweeten them so they have a little sweetness to go with the tartness, but a lot of people like them just like this. I mean, it's basically like an apple wine. It reminds me of a, you know, a white wine. There's nothing wrong with a drink like this. It's pretty cool that you can make something like this at home. He used, I was going to look it up, but then I didn't do it yet, EC1118 he put down for the yeast, which I'm guessing is some kind of a wine yeast. A Lalvin, I believe. But yeah, it's decent. It's just not my favorite way to drink a cider, but it's a perfectly acceptable way to drink it, and some people even prefer this way. So there's really not a lot to say about something like this. You just buy the juice, he fermented it, he probably primed it, and then bottled it, and there you go. So I like it. It's decent. I'm going to be enjoying this out here on this beautiful day. Maybe I'll get to one more beer this afternoon. I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe I'm playing guitar. I don't think I'm going to pound down all 4 beers this afternoon. So save a couple for another day, but cheers. Alright, so the cider yeast, I did look it up. The EC1118 is champagne yeast. So, fermented that thing out nicely. I'm on to what he calls a pale pumpkin ale, which I think that just means that the other one is more of a darker pumpkin ale, which I haven't tried yet. Here we go, this one now. These are all extract beers, which is interesting because most of the people that drop off beers, send me beers, are all grain. John says he's in the process of going all grain, but he wants to get his the process down with extract first, which is perfectly normal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's how I did it. I think that's a pretty normal way of doing it. This one is 7 pounds LME. Now he steeped 5 pounds of grain, so I'm assuming he steeped it at a good temperature for a reasonable amount of time because his gravity was 1065, and if he only used the 7 pounds of liquid malt extract, I think that would have been more like, I can't remember for sure, but it'd be like 1040, you know, 1040s, 1050. It was 1065, so I think he must have got some got some gravity points from the grain. A little bit of hops. Thing I note here, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice at flame out. So he just used a kind of a blend of spices instead of you know, adding your cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, whatever else. It's tasting pretty good. It's a nice color. It's a nice kind of like light brown, deep red. It's pretty clear, actually. If I hold it up, there's definitely a little bit of that pumpkin pie spice aroma. I like this beer. I've made pumpkin beers with pumpkin. I've made more, probably without pumpkin beers, I've made more of the Papazian Holiday Cheer beer, which is a spiced beer, not necessarily pumpkin spices. I'll make it every few years. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm definitely enough of a fan that every few years I get the urge to make one. This is really nice, though. You did a good job on this, John. I mean, I gotta be honest, I don't know if I would, excuse me, I don't know that if I would know that it was an extract beer if you didn't tell me, which is definitely a compliment. Sometimes they have a certain character that you definitely can suspect that it's an extract beer. You know, 2 pounds Vienna, 2 pounds Munich, and 1 pound of flake oats in the steeping. I don't have the details on the steeping, but I think that definitely added a character to it and some gravity points. It's a clean malt flavor. It's you know, there's no extract character really to speak of, which is, again, a compliment. It's like a backhanded compliment, I guess. I don't know. Now, with the 2 teaspoons, the cider's kicking in, I think. With the 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, this, at this level, is about just right. It's definitely there, but it's not overpowering. Now, the other beer that I have not tried yet, it looks like he only used half of a teaspoon of spice. So that one, I suspect, will have way less of a spice character, and when I get to that one, I'll address that. This one is just about the right level of spice, I think. I've lost my sunshine. It's still out there, but it's just not hitting my yard anymore. But still enjoying this beer. This is really nice. My neighbor's home. She's gonna think I'm crazy. This one's really nice. I mean, this was a beer that you could totally have on tap this time of year and drink a bit of it. So yeah, nice job on this one. It's clean tasting too. The fermentation, I think, was good. No ill effects from the fermentation or any sort of bad fermentation, and I'm liking it. So yeah, nice job on this one. Okay, we're on number 3 of John's beers that he sent. I have a special guest, Paul. He's a friend of mine that we met through the hobby. He's shared many of his beers with me, and lives about an hour away, but we meet up every now and then.
Yep.
He even took me fishing a couple times, which was fun.
I'll redeem that.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. So we are on the beer that is called Dark Side of the Red Pumpkin Ale. It's a red ale, Irish red ale that has some pumpkin characters in there. So what he did for the pumpkin is something that I have not really heard of. He says he has a homegrown pie pumpkin, which is cool. I love the homegrown stuff. He cubed it, roasted it with brown sugar, nutmeg, and clove. But then he says he put it in the boil. So normally we were talking, you would put something like a pumpkin,
in the mash,
squash, something like that. You can put it in a mash, or in his case, he could do like the steeping. He steeps grains. It's another extract batch to get the sugar out of it. So we probably didn't get a lot of sugar out of the pumpkin. There's also not really pumpkin flavor, but I don't think you normally get pumpkin flavor. But boiling it is interesting. I mean, it sort of would concern me that you might have a negative result.
You may get some vegetal quality.
Vegetal, gelatinous type something or other. I don't know. But so the other thing that the pumpkin is half of a teaspoon. What is up, dudes? half of... Hey, you just take it easy. You want some pumpkin beer? Hopefully she'll call me. So, it's half of a teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Now, the other one that I drank is 2 teaspoons. And that one had a good amount of spice, so I was worried that this one would not be very spicy at all, but it's there, right? I mean, you get a little bit of that spice.
It's a subtle thing. It's not in your face, slamming you. Like, hey, I'm a spice beer.
Right.
But it's
No, it is not, but it is noticeable. And I wonder how much of the spice that was on the pumpkin that was in the boil affects that flavor. Another interesting thing he did, he bottled it with a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm assuming vanilla extract. And we were talking, like, if you know that that's in there, you can kind of seek that out.
Yeah.
A couple of good things to say about this beer. Even though it's dark, it is clear. The fermentation is clean, just like the other pumpkin beer. There's no off layers at all. It's not too spicy. It has a nice malt character. Amber liquid malt extract. This is another good beer. I mean, the 2 beers I've had have been good, and I have one more that I think we'll get to next.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good job. That's all we need to say. So we'll get to the next one. All right, the final John from Corvallis beer is what he calls a weak pale ale. 7 pounds of pale LME. Couple pounds of caramel 30 for steeping. He was hydrometer broke. He was not able to take the gravity reading, so this would probably be, I forget exactly, but what the ratio is, but 1040s I would guess. 1 ounce of Willamette at 60, 1 ounce at 15, half ounce at flame out, and that's it. And cheers. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep. Always a pleasure.
I like this beer. Again, it's clean. All 3 beers have been clean. The cider was as well, but that's its own unique animal. Cleanly fermented, WLP 001 California Ale. It's just a perfectly nice drinking beer. It's not particularly hoppy, it's not malty. It does have a hop character. The Willamette does come through a little bit. It has some hop bitterness and flavor. This is the first beer of the 3 that I might be able to guess that it was made with extract. I don't know if the spices and the darker steeping grains and whatever else has gone into the other ones mask whatever that flavor is that makes me think that, but and it's not even an insult or a negative comment. We were talking off camera that if this was somebody's first exposure to drinking a home brewed beer, they would be pleasantly surprised. They would be just delighted that somebody could make a beer that was this delicious, you know, on your stovetop, basically. Yeah. So. It's a perfectly good drinking beer. I mean, if they call it, he said, I wanted a beer to mow the lawn with this summer. I call it my weak pale ale. I don't even know how old this is then, if he rebrewed it. But I mean, this beer could even be a little bit older, and that doesn't come through at all. No. It tastes pretty fresh, I think.
Yep, it's good beer.
Nice color, not super clear, but that happens. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. So, John, thanks for sending the stuff along. I always like trying people's things and enjoy giving a couple of comments. I can't even give you any constructive criticism, really. It's everything that I had was good for what it was. You seem to be off to a good start. I know you mentioned that you are in the process of going all grain. You wanted to get the process down with extract. I would say it appears to me you know how to ferment, package, clean bottle, sanitize, everything. All that's going well. Keep it up. Try all grain someday. Thanks for sending the samples, and see you later. Thanks, Paul, for coming over and helping me out.
Yep, you bet.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Catch you later. Did you call me John? Oh, that guy.
So thanks, John.
Awesome.